During the early 2014, there was an advertisement going around about volunteering as a special teacher at Catholic Secondary School. While I don't consider teaching to be a dream job of mine, I do consider it to be something I can realistically do in the future. I didn't have anything to do at the time, and I thought this would be great for my CV, so I took it. I was only there for a few weeks, but I was reminded how life was like in high school after seeing how the teachers taught. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and welcome guests.
Good evening.
After that experience, I realized that there were some flaws I discovered in the educational system. However, tonight I will only be focusing on two aspects: how we segregate our classes and how teachers discipline their students. Before I say anything, I realize that this is a touchy subject for me as I'm still young, I'm still a student, and I know some of you here are actually teachers and mentors themselves. But let me assure you, I'm not one without experience. I took psychology in education during A-levels. I did teach, like I said in my introduction, and what better else to improve the educational system than hearing from the opinions of students themselves. I'm not sure about other countries, but as we all know here in Brunei, we separate students to classes to how well they do in their exams. So you have classes like 5A, 5B, 5C, 5B, 5E, and so on. You get the idea, right? This system has its pros and cons. However, I feel the cons outweigh the pros. For someone like me who always got into the top classes, I had it easy. However, the same cannot be said for people who got into the lower classes. For them, they have a daily reminder that they're the bottom of the barrel, lowest of the hierarchy, that they're not that smart. And they get assigned to teachers who know that these students didn't do well in their exams, so the teachers treat the students harshly. This is bad because in behavior psychology, when a student has a bad association with the school or the class, it affects their educational performance. They don't do well and they don't attend classes regularly. That's the error, that's the flaw in the system. But what about the people who are supposed to educate us? The teachers. I want you to think back. Think back to your time in high school. Think back when you had a teacher that you hated. Think back when the teacher humiliated you in front of the whole class. Think back to when the teacher got you so mad that you lost interest in the subject. Let me share you my personal experience about that certain teacher. During English class, I wrote a terrible essay. Looking back, I'm thinking to myself, what was I thinking? My English teacher crumpled my paper, threw it on the floor, and scolded me in front of my whole class. Let me ask you this, how would that make you feel? I was devastated, of course. Another example would be how a teacher would ask you to stand up because you forgot a homework, a book, or an assignment, or you got an answer wrong. Again, the same can be applied in behavior psychology. When the student has a bad association with a teacher, the student is demotivated to learn. It affects their performance academically, and the student lost interest in the subject the teacher is teaching. And at that point, the teacher fails at his job to educate the student and motivate the student to learn. So, what's a better alternative to this? Well, the teacher can always talk to the student after class and talk about what they did wrong and how they can improve it. See how simple that is? You leave out the shaming and you give positive and constructive feedback. This is a tried and tested method and skill tested by behavior psychologists and practiced by the teachers. Sorry. Ladies and gentlemen, I believe better education can lead to a bright future. how can we move on when we're still segregating classes and humiliating pupils? I hope everyone in this room will know better how to become a better teacher, and who knows, maybe when some of you do become teachers, you can change the system for the better. Ladies and gentlemen, let's not turn a blind eye to this problem anymore. Let's not be blithe about the subject. We know some errors in the system already, so let's fix it. Back to you, conflict communicator Brandon D.